Hello, hello, happy Thursday. Are you ready to talk about people pleasing? Well, here we go. Have you ever said yes when every fiber of your being was screaming no? I know I have. How about this one? Do you bend over backwards to make other people happy, even at the cost of your own well being? Guilty as charged there too. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into why that happens and how you can reclaim your power. In this video, you will um, you will discover, learn, probably is a better word, learn the subtle signs that we sometimes miss of people pleasing. Understand why you might be prone to this behavior and learn some strategies to assert your own needs confidently. For those that don't know me or maybe are new to my world, I am Sandy and I am your self discovery coach. I work with women experiencing their second spring who are standing at the crossroads of change. A little bit about me, my journey began when my first husband decided he no longer wanted to be married. And I realized at that point that so much of my identity was wrapped up and tied to being what everyone else, including him, what everyone else expected me to be. It is now my passion and my mission to help other women reclaim their souls so they wake up every day excited, confident, and fulfilled. And this month, we are focusing on self knowledge. And today's topic is about recognizing and overcoming people pleasing tendencies. So let's get into it. I have three main points. I like to keep these relatively brief. And I could talk for days on this topic. We could go into all kinds of things, but we're going to keep it to three. So, what is the first one? The first one is recognizing people pleasing. It can show up in ways that you might not even recognize as being a challenge. It could be difficulty saying no, like I talked about at the beginning. Saying no when you're already feeling overwhelmed, somebody asks you to do something and you still say yes, even though inside you're like, no, I don't want to. But you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to make them feel bad. You don't want to, you feel guilty if you say no. So you say yes anyway to your own detriment. Um, it looks like overcommitment. Again, at your own expense. You've already got all these things going on, and you take on another commitment, thinking you can do it all. Um, Another way is seeking approval or validation from others. Guilty there too. um, Feeling responsible for someone else's emotions and trying to manage their feelings. Man, have I done that too. Where you make it about yourself when the reality is it's not always about you. Most of the time, it's not about you at all. It's about whatever's going on with them. But we take that on and feel like it's our responsibility. Did I do something to make you upset? And so the guilt sets in, and then you want to continue to make them feel better, even though it doesn't necessarily make you feel better. And then also just suppressing your own opinions, desires, because you want to avoid conflict, don't want to upset the apple cart. You're concerned about what they might say. So those are just some of the signs. Those are probably some of the major ones. So think about this. Can you recall a recent incident or instance where you felt pressure to please someone at your own expense? I'm going to invite you to think about that and reflect on how it made you feel. And because so often we just pass it off and oh, well, it is what it is. And we don't even really think about how we felt about it, nor do others ask. And I'm not suggesting you tell them to ask you, but just think about, because recognizing is really the first thing. So recall that recent instance, and you're welcome to share it in the comments. And I'll get to the comments after we're done. I want to keep going here. So, what is number two? It's understanding where these come from, understanding the roots. And this is really crucial, a crucial start for you to change. So it could come from early life experiences. Like maybe especially us as women, when we're little girls, we're praised for being the good girl and we're praised for being helpful. We're raised to, help and serve and do all that. And so that starts that people pleasing process. And we don't even realize that it's happening at the time. It also comes from the societal expectations that we prioritize selflessness and caregiving, especially again for women. We're the caregivers. We're supposed to take care of everything. I know so many women, and I've talked to women, and heck, I've been there myself, where we're working full time, and then we come home and we're taking care of everything around the house. We're doing the laundry, we're doing the dinner, we're doing everything. And if you are with a partner who does everything and helps, I am so excited for you. I happen to actually be married to somebody who we do everything. He probably does more around the house than I do, but we do everything together. And it was even like that when I was working. My first husband, not quite so much. So those societal expectations is another root cause. Another one is the fear of rejection or abandonment. This can lead to that desire that you feel you want to be liked, you want to be accepted. Um, and then that then in turn affects your self-esteem. So you end up with low self-esteem and low self-worth, which then just compounds that whole looking for external validation and makes that more appealing. I can tell you when I was married to my first husband, um, twice in our marriage, and I've shared this before, but twice in our marriage, he told me he wasn't attracted to me because I had put on weight. How do you think? I mean, my self-esteem just went right into the toilet. So then it became that constant, validation. And I still catch myself, doing that, wanting to have that external validation. It's something that I'll be working on for a very long time, and if not for the rest of my life. So again, understanding where that all comes from, it's understanding why we engage in those people pleasing behaviors is really crucial for changing them. So those are just some areas that you can be aware of and look at. So the question for you then is, and maybe spend some time thinking about this, what are some early memories or influences that might have shaped that tendency in you? Reflecting on these, again, I invite you to reflect. It can provide insight into where those came from. Okay, third, third, third item is strategies to help you overcome it. Breaking the cycle. That is the key. Okay, it involves several practical steps. And again, it's not going to happen overnight. Just like anything, it's going to take practice. So the first is setting clear boundaries. Learning to define and communicate your limits. um, Start small. Don't try to take everything on at once. Don't try to make these big, huge, sweeping changes. Start small. And here's a little tip for you. Next week, we're going to be spending the week talking about boundaries. So next week's live is going to be all about boundaries. So this will help you with that. But start with small, manageable boundaries and then gradually expand them. Here's a big one. Practice saying no. It's okay to decline requests that don't align with your priorities of your well being. Practice assertive communication and remember, no is a complete sentence. How many of you, and I know that because I'm one too, don't just say no. And I've been practicing that more and more to just say no. Remember, no is a complete sentence. But we, especially as women, have a tendency to want to give an explanation as to why we're saying no or justify why we're saying no. We don't have to. And I again been there, done that. I feel you. I am you. And I still am practicing that. And and it's saying no and just pausing and just let it be complete at that. So just practice that. Start with something that's maybe not quite as, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank on the word, but not quite as, not, I don't want to say intimidating, but can't think of the word. But here's an example. When you're walking around a mall or, someplace that there's not a lot of malls, but like over the weekend, we were in Las Vegas and we were at the Venetian getting ready for dinner and we were just walking around the shops and they have the people that stand up there and they're trying to get you to come in and my husband is like, just ignore them. Well, that just doesn't feel good to me. So when they say something, I always just say, no, thank you, and I keep going. And even if they try to get my attention, I keep going. That's an easy way, non-committal way to practice because there's no, you don't know that person. You're probably never going to see them again. I had one do that to me because she liked the skirt I was wearing. And so I stopped, and she wanted to feel the material. And I showed her that it was reversible. And of course, then, oh, let me give you something. No, that's okay. Thank you. And I just walked away. So that's a way to practice. It still, can feel a little bit yicky, but it's a way to practice and ease into it. So practice saying no. Okay, here's another biggie, prioritizing self-care. And I don't mean self-care as like go get a massage and, get your nails done, that type of thing. It's checking in with yourself regularly to ensure that your needs are being met. And that includes, physical needs, emotional needs, mental health needs, and I'm going to add spiritual, doing those things that make you feel good about yourself and make you feel cared for, and doing those self-care items that you need more than just going to get your nails done, getting a massage, or anything like that. I think too often we limit ourselves to are you doing self-care? And you think, well, yeah, or no, I haven't had a massage in a long time. I have a handout, and if you want it, put a comment handout, and I'll get it to you. But it's 50 different ways to take care of yourself, and it's not just the obvious. So, and then building self-compassion. That's another biggie. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to others. When your friend comes to you, treat yourself. You need to become your own best friend. And so if treat yourself as if it was your best friend coming to you with a question or a challenge, and treat yourself with that same compassion you would do for others or for your child or anybody else. Recognize that your worth is completely independent of anybody else's approval. True story. So based on that, what is one small step that that you can take this week to assert your boundaries? It could be saying no to an extra task or setting aside some time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes. So think about that. And I would love for you to share that in the comments so I can encourage and support you. So, takeaways for this live. So, remember, recognizing those signs of people pleasing is the first step toward change. Second is understanding the root of your behavior empowers you to address it effectively. And the third takeaway is practical strategies like setting clear boundaries can significantly enhance your self respect and personal fulfillment. Feel free if you have questions or you need support or you want to share your experiences. I would love for you to put that in the comments. I am here to help you navigate this journey, and I will reach out to you and get back to you in those comments. So, if you are ready to dive a little deeper and reclaim your power, I'm inviting you. I'm just launching my latest course, which is called Overcoming People Pleasing. And I'll put the link after this is over. I'll put the link in the comments so you can check out the details. But it'll help you go a little deeper into this whole people pleasing. And believe me, like I said, I am you. I've been there. I still practice it. I still struggle and have to constantly remind myself. So, but this course can help you with that. And it's designed to help you build the confidence to live authentically and joyfully. So remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're actually saying yes to your own well being and happiness. So let's embrace that journey together. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I do look forward to hearing about your progress. Feel free to put your questions in the comments. And remember, next week we're going to be talking about boundaries. I'll see you then. Bye.